But what about students who've experienced dating violence or sexual harassment or assault and don't want to talk to their parents or the school? Where can they get help?
They can contact community organizations, like a sexual assault crisis center. I want to show you a scene where a girl calls in after being assaulted.
Good afternoon. This is Cheryl from the Sexual Assault Resource Center. How can I help you?
Hi, I need some help. Something happened at school.
Okay, I can help you. Would you like to tell me your name?
It's Kristi.
Hi, Kristi. When did something happen to you?
Last weekend, a guy raped me. I don't want anyone else to know. He said if I told anyone, no one would believe me. I'm scared. Some kids are talking about me online. His friends are saying that I wanted it.
Oh, Kristi, that must be so difficult. I'm sorry you're going through that. Before we talk any further, let me just tell you about state law called mandated reporting. If you're under 18, then I am legally bound to make a report to either the police or social services. If you don't want me to make a report, please don't give me any information that identifies you, such as your last name, your address, or your phone number.
Okay.
Kristi, are you hurt? Are you having pain?
I have a few bruises and pains from what happened. I don't feel like eating. I'm mostly scared.
Those are really normal feelings after a sexual assault or a rape. Have you been able to tell anyone what happened?
Well, I told my best friend, but I made her promise not to tell anyone.
Okay. Have you been able to talk to your mom or your dad?
I'm afraid to tell them. That'll just make it worse.
How about the police? Have you made a police report?
No way.
Okay. Can you tell me where the sexual assault happened?
It was over the weekend at school after a game. I was one of the last people to leave, and he said he'd give me a ride home.
Would you be comfortable telling me what happened next?
He drove to a dark place nearby and, well, he raped me. He said if you tell anyone, they won't believe you, and he let me off a few blocks from my house.
Did your mom and dad see you or say anything when you got home after that?
No, my parents were already asleep. But the next day, my mom asked me what was wrong, and I just told her I got in an argument with a friend. I told her I wanted to be by myself.
Have you been back to school?
No, I can't sleep. I have nightmares. I'm exhausted. I told my mom that I was sick and couldn't go back to school.
You sound exhausted, sweetie. A lot of people have nightmares and trouble sleeping after they've been assaulted. It's really normal to be feeling those things. And I bet you don't want to go back to school right now. What are you worried about with going back to school? Can you tell me about that?
I'm missing my friends. I don't feel like myself. I'm scared. Even if I tried, I wouldn't be able to focus on work. I'm missing soccer practice. I just can't face seeing him and hearing what everyone will say about me. I'm afraid to look at my phone. I'm afraid to talk to anyone.
Being fearful is very, very normal. What are you most worried about with this rape?
Yeah, well, I'm afraid of being pregnant. My parents would kill me if that happened. Or I'm afraid of STDs and the medical bills that would come along with that. My family can't afford that.
Oh, Kristi, I'm so sad that you're going through this. It is very scary and confusing, this whole situation, but my role is to help give you some information about some options that you have. Would it help to talk about some of those options?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, one of the things I'd like to recommend today is getting you over to the hospital for a forensic exam. Now, I want to remind you that in our state, if you're under 18, the doctors and the nurses will have to make a mandated report to the police or the social services people. Now, you told me you're worried about pregnancy and STDs. They can help you with both of those concerns. There's medicine to help prevent a pregnancy, and there's medicine to help prevent STDs. Now, the other thing I'd like to recommend today is a forensic exam where they collect some evidence, taking some samples from your body, the doctors and the nurses. Now, I want to assure you that is free. In our state, we have crime victims compensation and they pay for that exam, so your mom and dad aren't going to get stuck with any bills. Now, one of the things I also want to mention is that you can have an advocate go with you to the hospital so you're not alone.
What does this advocate do?
Well, the advocate does a lot of things. They can be with you for the exam. They can give you information about your legal rights. They can also talk to you about your right to go back to school and feel safe.
What rights?
Once you tell your school that you've been sexually harassed, assaulted, or raped by another student, the school has to take immediate steps to keep you safe and enable you to go to school without feeling harassed or retaliation. They have to do this because there's a federal law called Title IX.
What kind of steps?
Well, for example, they have to make arrangements that you don't have to be in a class with the guy who raped you. You don't have to have any contact with him at the school. They also have to take steps to address any bullying or retaliation that you're feeling. They can help create a safety plan to help you feel and stay safe at school.
Who can I talk to school about this?
It's a great question, Kristi. They have an officer called the Title IX officer or the Title IX coordinator. Every school has to have one, or every school district. It's a federal law. And we can look up that information online. The victim's advocate will probably have that information, and we can also call the school anonymously to get that person's contact name and information.
I didn't know about any of this. Thank you. Thank you for telling me.
You're so welcome, and a lot of people don't understand this and know that. That's why I'm here to help with this. If you could just hold on for a moment, I'm going to look up the name and number of the advocate on call today, and we're going to get you connected so we can go through the next steps to keep you safe and get you the help that you need.